Hello everybody and God bless. So I had a few dreams and I'm going to put down on the bottom when I had them because I don't remember on the top of my head. So one dream I remember that I want to go over is the one that I had today. And what happened in that dream was I had walked into this area and it was like people everywhere and they looked miserable and sad. And there was this guy, he was with me and he was so joyful. Like, he was really happy and I was really happy. Like we were just having like a normal, like we weren't dreary and sad. But at the same time I was confused because I didn't understand this area, and he was introducing it to me. And he was showing me that these are souls of people who feel like they are unforgiven, like they can't forgive themselves. And these people were so miserable. Like they were like sitting on chairs, like really sad. Some of them were muddy and dirty because of their unforgiveness that they had for themselves. And it was just so sad. Even though like in the dream, I couldn't really feel sadness. I just felt normal, like just a normal happy person. But and I knew we were in heaven. And so this guy, he was showing me how to, but it was like he was reminding me that I could help people forgive themselves. Like I had the gift to speak life into people and it would work. And so at first he went around and he would whisper in people's ears, telling them, you are forgiven, let it go, you're okay, things like that. And him and I, we would talk to each other in between, and him and I were very like similar to each other. So like we believed in the same things. Like we were very like the same person, it seemed. I literally felt like I was talking to the same person of me, but just a guy version. And he just had more experience because he like, it's like he remembered how to do this earlier than I did. But I knew like once I remembered how to do it, I would be just at the same level as him. So, so I was a little confused at first because he just started doing it. So he wasn't like fully telling me how to do it or that I could do it. So I was just looking at him, and I guess I was a little hesitant because I was like, I really can do this, like really, like that. And so it got to the point where we would do people at the same time. Like he would whisper in one side of the ear and I would whisper in the other ear, and we would tell them like, you are okay, let it go. And these people, they would become clean, they would stand up, they would get joyful, and then they would disappear. And because I think it was just their spirit, and I think it would just like disappear from the area because this area was only for people who could not forgive themselves. And so finally there was this lady, and she was laying on the ground and she was covered in mud, like covered. You couldn't even really like see her face. And she was just laying there. It was just gross and muddy. And so he went and he whispered in her ear and told her that she was forgiven. And it took a second because she was just like hesitant, like, really? Like, I'm forgiven? Because I had a knowing she had unforgiveness towards the abortion she had did. And it was really, really weighing on her. Like, that's why it was so much mud, and it was like she was laying on the ground. Everybody else was able to like sit in a chair and like lean over a bit, but she was straight up like stuck on this ground. Like she could not get up at all. So he told her that, and she like slowly became clean, and she was happy. And that's when I was able to see that she didn't, like, I wasn't able to see like nakedness or anything like that, but I was able to see that she didn't have clothes on. Like, she wasn't naked, don't get me wrong, I did not see no naked bodies, but she wasn't like how I have a shirt and pants. Oh, she was just in like a bathing suit or like underwear. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But anyways, but the mud covered her up very, very well. So I couldn't see cleavage or anything like that. And it cleaned her, the mud cleaned her, and she disappeared. So I still couldn't see like any nudity or anything like that. But I just had a knowing what she was wearing. And the guy I was with, he wasn't looking at her all lustfully or anything like that. He just had a job to do and he just did it. And he kept coming to me and telling me like, see, look what we can do. And he was so happy. And that's why he was so happy, because I remember like when we had walked into the room, at first he was more happy, like he was straight up joyful. I just couldn't feel sadness. But at the same time, he was like excited. And then at the end, towards the end of this dream, I understood, because we were helping people. We were like speaking life into people, telling them like, hey, you are forgiven, you are okay, it's okay, let it go. Like, we were literally telling people to let it go. And that gives me hope, because like in real life, a lot of times I want to tell people to just let it go, but I feel bad because I don't want them thinking I'm telling them that I don't care about what they're feeling, or that I'm telling them that they just need to get over it. I'm not saying that. It's just that that's how I get past a lot of things in my past. When I would fall into crazy depression, and I would just be crying like crazy, and it was hard for me to forgive myself. And once I became right with God, I started realizing that all of those feelings, anything negative that you were feeling in your life, is nothing but Satan. And for me personally, this is just what worked for me. I don't know about anybody else out there, but this dream showed that it works. I literally just told myself to just let it go. I didn't need a result. I didn't need an answer of why it happened, or how it could happen. I just said, you know, I'm just let it go. And a lot of times when I did that, I literally felt like a weight coming off my shoulder. I didn't need someone to talk to me or anything like that. I literally just let it go and moved on. And it wasn't like I let it go on my own merit, like who I am. It was like I'm saying, like, God, I know that whatever happened in my life, you are working out for my good. And I know that I am okay because I am right with you. Like, obviously, if I wasn't right with you, then yeah, like me sitting in depression, that's different. But I am right with you, and I'm following you, and I know I'm okay. So I'm just gonna let it go and move on with the rest of my life, because it's nothing but Satan that's trying to condemn me and put me in depression and make me sad and make me second guess who I am in you. And even though I don't know exactly like what my status is, or what number I am in you, or my grade in you, I don't know exactly where I am with you. I just know that I am right with you, and I don't need to know those things to get me out of depression. So I'm just gonna let it go and move on with the rest of my life. And that's literally how I talk to myself. So when I talk to other people like that, and I say this because I have talked to multiple people like that, I am not in any way, shape, or form trying to shut you up or make you feel like what you're going through doesn't mean anything. I just have, I guess I've gotten to that level when I've realized that any form of depression is not of God, and the best way to get over it is to literally get over it and just move on. Like I said, like the girl in my dream, she was covered in mud, and it was hard. Like we had to talk, he had to talk to her. He was talking to her. I wasn't, I was just looking, but he had to talk to her a couple of times to get her to get past it. So yeah, sometimes it can be hard, but don't tell yourself it's impossible. Tell yourself you are forgiven. If you're being led by God, you're actually following God's will, you're doing what God told you to do. Do not get into depression or confusion saying, God, I don't understand, like I'm following you and all these bad things are happening to me. Just let it go. You're okay. Just have faith in God and just keep on walking, because every single time you cry and you get depressed and you stop for a second to try and figure out why, try and figure out how all these things are happening, you are slowing down your walk with God. God is still walking. He's still going. The path is still going. We don't have time to keep on stopping. And like I said, I'm not saying that what you're going through means nothing. I'm just saying, get over it. It means something. There's a meaning. What you're going through is hard, it's painful, I understand, but we have to keep moving. You have to keep moving. Believe you are forgiven and you will be okay. You will be okay as long as you are following God and you're following his will, you're doing all of his commandments, you're just doing what he tells you to do and being led by him, not your pastor, not your mom, not your dad, not your friends, not your siblings. You're being led by God. You are okay. You'll be okay. Trust me. And this dream proved that my way of thinking of you'll be okay is actually okay. Okay? So God bless you all. Have a nice one.